Hey everybody, welcome to Trading the Close. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at VerifiedInvesting.com. Hope everyone's doing well. We have a lot to discuss. We have earnings that have just hit in the after hours. Google, AMD, Chipotle, Snapchat, you name it, it is coming out. Markets today stayed relatively quiet. It was more of a kind of a flat open and then just an initial float up and then sideways the rest of the day as all the markets and investors are reeling from all the crazy whipsaw on tariffs. So let's get right into it, guys. No time to delay here. We'll jump over to the big board, cover the levels here or the charts. The Dow was down 100 points, so a little bit of a drop on the Dow. The NASDAQ was up nicely. Most of the Magnificent Seven were up. In fact, I think all of them were up going into Google earnings after the bell. By the way, Google is getting smoked after hours. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. S&P, small loss here. So you can see, again, the NASDAQ was carried. Look, Apple, NVIDIA, Google, Meta, all of the big players, Amazon over here, up nicely. So the big green was all about the NASDAQ right here, while the rest of the market struggled just a little bit. Now, oil, folks, flat to positive. As I had mentioned, we talked about how I was looking to take profits on my oil short. I did take the remainder off the table. We'll go over that chart. And luckily, for us in smart money commodities and miners, we did see a bounce back here on oil, so it looks like a great exit. We'll go over that chart in just a second. Gold today up again. Gold is a monster. It just keeps going up, folks. You got to think it's at 28.41 already. It's got to be, you figure at some point this year it's at 3,000. Could be sooner than later by the way things are going. Bitcoin really struggling. Bitcoin's getting dumped out here late in the day. We're going to go into that, but remember, we know our levels. 92,000 on the downside is technical support. We'll see if that holds if we test it. We tested it yesterday. And then what do we have on the upside? We know the 108 to 111 level on the upside is key. Okay, quickly just going into this, then we're going to get into these earnings. The S&P 500 or the SPY up a little bit again today. But really, as a trader, you want to be agnostic. You don't want to have preconceived notions. You want to just be like, listen, what are the levels? What has to hold? What doesn't? This is your lower level. If that holds, markets are still in an uptrend. If that breaks, watch out below. On the upside, you have your double top right up here, right? Or triple top as it may be. That's your upside ceiling for now. If that breaks, this line extends out, that would be your next target. But right now, we're between here and here. Here and here on the markets. It again, whichever way breaks, you should get a big move. If this breaks, big drop. If this breaks, big pop to the upside. All right, let's get into these earnings, guys, because we got a lot to discuss here. The Google earnings have hit the market, and take a look at Google trading down on earnings. Big flush here. We closed the day on the charts at 206. We are trading at 192 right now. Let's look at the charts here. So I had this bigger parallel that I talked about in the game plan this morning. We talked about how it was unlikely Google would go down here, / Alphabet. Obviously, I know the name is Alphabet, but it'll always be Google to me. What we're looking at here is a level at around 190, and down to about 189 and change. This is a big area of support. I am not a swing trade buyer there. What I'm going to look for is a move down to this level tomorrow, 182. See this high pivot right here? And then this low. That is going to be big support, followed by the gap fill here at 175.60, and then the lower parallel. Those, for me, those are support number 1, support number 2, support number 3. All right, but right now, as we just showed, look at that drop on Google, nasty drop. Now let's go to AMD. Now AMD initially surged to the upside. Look at this, popping up here, then reversing back to the downside. Again, look at this. We were right into resistance. If it could have held above this level, you'd have a big breakout, but right now it's getting pounded back down in the after hours. Going back to the after hours action, we're trading around 116 currently on the charts. We're going to watch to see where this goes. But if we go to the daily chart, how low could it go if it continues to sell off? Well, really, when all is said and done, look at this. Look at this area here. This is where I will swing trade it long. Listen, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to have a great level for tomorrow. Right now, I don't. But I'll tell you one thing. If this ever gets back to this $80 level right down here, that to me is very, very interesting. But suffice it to say here, right? So if we talk about what we're looking at here on the charts, if we're looking at these levels, what we have to recognize is Google's down and AMD's down. That sets us up right now to be potentially under pressure tomorrow in the tech sector, because those are the two big names. names. Now, tomorrow after the bell, I think we might have Amazon, unless it's on Thursday. That could change the narrative. But right now, these tech earnings are coming in a little weaker than expected. Now, let's go to a couple other charts here. If we take a look at CMG, Chipotle, we all love our little Chipotle there. Look at the massive drop here and look at the rebound. Still down in the after hours, but it has bounced quite a bit after getting down to $52. It's back to about 56. But again, this is another stock, not technology related, but another stock that is down in the after hours. Now, one change of pace here is Snapchat. Snapchat is rallying on earnings. If we go to the daily chart, you can see this one was kind of at the lower end versus if you compare this to Meta, it's night and day, right? I mean, you know, here's Meta, and let's just up, right? Nonstop. And by the way, Meta will have a lot of resistance up here. But if we look at Snapchat on the other side, this one again has been languishing in the lower range. Maybe it's time for this one to shine, maybe taking a little bit of a lackluster pull away from Meta. Now, one level I'll watch on Snapchat, this high pivot right here around $17.35. So listen, these earnings quite spectacular. We got to go over to Bitcoin now and take a look. I'll go over to the big board so we can take a look at this. So if we go here and we take a look at Bitcoin, what do we have here, guys? We have Bitcoin again with a nice sell-off coming back down. It's not back down to its technical lows just yet. This is the level to watch right here all the way through these lows. So listen, it's down today. Who cares? The only thing that matters as a technical trader is this level here. This is where I start to pay attention. All right, anything in here, honestly, this is all noise. All noise. It's up one day, it's down one day, big pop, big drop. Who cares? What you want to be aware of as a technician is this level at 92 and then this zone right up here at 108,000 to 111,000. That's where the bigger move is going to come, depending on which way we break. So yes, it's a nice sell-off on Bitcoin today. It's what we would call a classic retrace of the reversal off the lows yesterday. The big thing only comes in if it takes out that low. All right, quickly, let's flip over to gold and just take a check in on gold's action here. Gold again, it just continues to go higher. I am getting some overbought signals more and more on the charts, so I'm kind of partial to thinking we might be due for a pullback, although the pullback would be somewhat on the shallower side, only taking us back to 27.90, but would not shock me to see over the next couple days a pullback on that. Now, silver, I had an upside target at 32.25. Take a look at this, guys. Where did it go today? 32.25 right there, pulled back a little bit. So this now target has been achieved on silver. Will it break out here? We don't know, but what I did know is this was going to be resistance, and so far, if we zoom in, pierced the level and got rejected and came back in. Oil, take a look at this, guys. This is pretty cool. Here was that level that I was saying I was most likely going to take off my second half of the oil short at. Look at this, right down there today, and bounces right back up. Now, listen, could it go down further tomorrow? Sure, it could. Could do anything it wants. But what I did know is this was going to be technical support, and so I took my second half of my short on oil off right there. Lastly, natural gas here, guys. Nat gas not doing anything. This is resistance up around 350. Technical support for me to potentially go long would be around 260. It's trading below a breakdown level, so it favors the downside, but there's no trading signal that is high probability, for me at least, when we're just speaking about these. All right. Lastly, let's just go back and check in on Google real quick. Alphabet, as we call it. If we go to our after hours action, it's basically stabilized in this $92, $192 range, but we will see. I'll be back tomorrow morning, folks, with the game plan, and we'll look for trading levels going into the day. We're going to look at the data. Tomorrow we'll get ADP private sector data out at 8:15 in the morning, so we'll watch that. But again, from today, from the market, relatively quiet float day for most of the indices, especially the NASDAQ was strong, while the S&P and the Dow were weak. After hours today, that's where the fireworks began. It means tomorrow is going to be a good trading day. I'll be back tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you later. Take care.
Hey guys, Lawton here with Verified Investing, back for another Legacy Academy video. If you take a look here at my inventory, I have tons of chests that I'm going to open up. I have about 16 Legacy tokens, a bunch of different scrolls, and this Orb of Affinity from these chests, and it just shows that you can earn while playing and learning.